Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 8, Episode 9, When Chairs Fly. This episode opens up with Margaret and her husband Joe and their interior designer Joyce. Oh boy, she was a trip. The ongoing saga of Margaret having her house remodeled or whatever continues, and she has this interior designer come over, and wow, she was rough. I mean, I don't know if that was just me or what, but at one point Joe was saying he wanted the living room's like the walls to be beige or white. And Margaret's going, no, I want color. And she goes, they were talking about tufted velvet or something like that. And Joe said, no, it's going to look like a whorehouse. And Margaret goes, oh, so what? There's worse things than a whorehouse. And Joyce, the interior designer, first of all, she's got this really raspy, like smoker's voice. She goes, yeah, and a whorehouse is fun. Could you see this interior designer with someone like Heather Dubrow? Wow. Well, it's the day of the posh fashion show. And like 5 hours before, Siggy and Dolores show up to get into hair and makeup. And they're telling Kim D about the dinner they had the night before where Teresa chucked a glass at the brick wall. Siggy says, they really hate you. They really hate you. And Kim's like, well, what were they saying? And so she kind of told her. And Kim said, well, I mean, this is what I'm hearing. And then she said, it's not true that she's meeting up with an old flame. And then this is so typical for Kim D. She says to them, well, right here, the girl who's standing there doing Dolores's hair, she's Kim D's informant. I mean, she's up to the same old tricks. Get a new game, Kim D. It was her fashion show where she had that guy show up that supposedly ran the strip club that Melissa worked at. Oh, God. Anyway, Kim, you can find anybody to come out of the woodwork and say whatever you want. And apparently, I don't know what they gave this girl to say that she saw Teresa out at a club with a guy and they were embracing each other. And then, of course, she and Kim D recreate it. And Siggy's like, that could have been anything. They could have been old friends. Whatever. You just don't attack a person's marriage. So Margaret, Melissa, Teresa, and Danielle all come together in the same car and they show up to the fashion show. I don't think they had a big plan. This whole big, we're Charlie's Angels, I don't think that really went anywhere because they found out they were downstairs still getting ready, so all the ladies are like tiptoeing down the stairs in their heels so they don't fall. They're about to go in the room where Kim D, Siggy, and Dolores are. Melissa, I think, said, what are we going to do? And Teresa's like, well, I guess I'm going to go in there. So they all go traipsing in after her. It was really stupid. Well, they walk in, first of all, and Kim D, welcome to Posh Fashion Show. Yeah, okay. And Teresa's like, yeah, I heard some things that you said about me from Dolores. And she's like, yeah, what? So she's telling her, don't ever talk about my marriage. Don't talk about me or my husband. And Kim D's like, who cares? I can say what I want. And they're just fighting back and forth. Kim's like, well, I heard you were out at clubs at night. And Teresa's like, so what? I go out at clubs. I go out with Siggy. I go out with Dolores. So I go out to clubs with my friends. So what? And she's like, you're a dirty bitch. You're all dirty bitches. And she's looking at like her friends. And I'm thinking, poor Margaret is probably thinking, what did I do? Anyway, it's so stupid. It gets louder, and next thing you know, Kim D is like being escorted out for her safety, I guess. I don't know. It was just weird. Oh, but not before Teresa got in her, you know what POSH stands for? Piece of shit, coke whore, home wrecker, every day. Oh my God. Oh, God bless her. She was so proud of that. And you know, Teresa practiced that at home, like over and over again, so she wouldn't screw it up. Then Melissa says to Dolores and Siggy, who are still there, she's like, so you saw this whole thing. You saw what she was like. And are you guys still going to walk in her show? And I don't know what. I seriously do not know where this came from. Dolores just gets in Melissa's face and says, yeah, I am. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. And Melissa goes, am I telling you what to do? I'm just asking you. But, oh, wow, it was loud and stupid. The ladies go back to Margaret's house and they're talking about it. And basically, Teresa says she's hurt by Siggy and Dolores and that they're going to have to come to her now. And Melissa keeps saying, I can't believe we just invited them to Milan like yesterday. The next day, Teresa goes over to Joe and Melissa's house because Joe has hired a psychic. He misses his mother and he wants to see if he can talk to her. So the psychic comes over and I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about psychics. I'm not really a believer yet. I think some people do have a sixth sense. But there's also a lot of charlatans, and I don't know what category this one falls into. I mean, she's no Mystic Michaela. But what bothers me is I just don't like when they sort of prey on people who are vulnerable. And this family is hurting so much. Their dad is just missing her terribly. Teresa's kids miss her. It's tough. And so you don't want to see somebody being manipulated when they're vulnerable, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the answers this woman gave were vague enough that anybody could have said them. The rest of the stuff I feel like she could have Googled. There was nothing that indicated to me that like she's for real. She's the real deal, you know? Siggy goes over to Teresa's house and she does apologize to her. She tells her, yes, the things that Kim D were saying was completely uncalled for and out of line, but the reason she stayed and did the fashion show was because of the families it was supporting. The family members of the victims were there and she was just honoring her commitment. So Teresa kind of understood that then and she forgave her. They talked about Milan and Siggy said she would love to go, but she will not go without Dolores. Meanwhile, Marge Sr. is having a makeover because she is going on a double date with Margaret and Joe. Okay, this double date was so wildly inappropriate and awkward and uncomfortable for me that I'm not even going to describe any of it. Really, both Marge Sr. and Margaret crossed the line and, I'm sorry. It's just creepy and uncomfortable for me, and I will say no more. This episode ends with Teresa calling Melissa on the phone and telling her about her conversation with Siggy and that she said she would go to Milan but not without Dolores. Melissa says, okay, that's fine, that's her decision. And she said, listen, I'm not going to take back my invitation to Dolores, but Dolores needs to respect me. I don't know why she got in my face like that. If she wanted to get up in somebody's face, it should have been Kim D's. And so she's not too thrilled with Dolores right now, but she's still invited. And that's kind of where this one ends. We see a little preview for next week, and it looks like Danielle may be off her meds in Milan. There's just a little sample of the old Danielle is back. Let's just say that. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Meet me back here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Please subscribe if you have not done so. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this episode, and please comment down below. I love to hear from you. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.